All right, that's the global market action, but how will these cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in to tell you just that, the stocks that will be in the news, the market setup, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. Vivek, let me come across to you first. What is the market setup looking like today?
Well, good morning. It appears as though the push that we are making towards new high as far as the Nifty is concerned may actually get delayed by a little bit. We're actually working with very soft cues this morning, especially from Asian markets. Having a look at US markets ended last week with gains of over, between 0.7 to over 1.5%. Even European markets ended the week with gains. But however, it's a risk-off sentiment if you're looking at the rest of the globe. Gold prices ended largely flat. When you're talking about crude prices fell over 1.5%, both Brent as well as WTI. And, it's the third consecutive weekly decline that we saw for crude oil prices. When you're talking about some of the key events to keep an eye out for, an important IPO opens today. Dharmaraj CropGuard IPO will begin today. And coming closer, as far as the Indian markets are concerned, last week it was the tech stocks that actually aided the rally. And this week, it does appear as though a lot of the market action could be determined by what's actually happening in China, as you discussed earlier. A significant fall as far as some of the Chinese markets are concerned. And SGX Nifty 2 on the back of that is indicating a subdued start for our own markets.
Global cues very important today, considering what's happening in China as well. Vivek, thank you so much for all those cues. Surbi is joining us now. She'll talk about all the stocks that will be in focus today. Surbi?
I have a few stocks on my radar today. The first one is HDFC Life, where the insurance regulator approves their merger with Exide Life. Next is L&T Financial Services, where it completes the divestment of its mutual fund business and receives 3,484 crores as consideration. Moving on to Paytm, where the RBI has asked the Paytm payment services to resubmit their application to operate as a payment aggregator. Next is Ami Organics, where the company signs a multi-year, multi-ton agreement with Fermion in Finland for supply of an intermediate for their patented product. The total minimum contract value will be spread across 10 years, and the product is expected to start meaningfully contribute to the revenue by FY24. Lastly, Shriram Properties, where the company's wholly owned subsidiary has acquired a real estate company in Bangalore. The development potential is close to 660 residential units, and the wholly owned subsidiary has paid close to 30 crores for this acquisition.
Okay, all right, Surbi, thank you so much for that. And finally, let's talk all about the F&O cues. Nigel is joining us now. Hey, Nigel, good morning.
Well, morning. On Friday's trading session, both the FIs and the DIs, they cancel out each other. So the institution action in the cash market is more or less neutral. The FIs in the F&O market, well, they added shorts, close on 13,000 contracts is what they added on the short side. But it's difficult to understand on which index they added it, because the Nifty Bank, well, that ended a little bit lower, while the Nifty ended higher. And there was no big, massive change in terms of open interest built up out there. So, the likelihood is that on the Nifty, they added some shorts because there was open interest built up out there. On the index futures, though, they continue to remain net long with more than 70% of their positioning on the long side. They're buying index options, though, both on the call as well as put side, but they bought more calls than puts. You'll say that's bullish because they bought in the ratio of 2:1. However, on the writing side, they wrote more calls than puts. And that's in the ratio of close to around 5:1. So they wrote close to around 5 calls for 1 put out there. And that's telling you that maybe at higher levels, we could see some supply. 18,500 call, 18,600 call. Between them, they added close to around 50 lakh shares. And the premium out there is around 50 to around 110 rupees. That's giving you a sense that around that 18,650 odd, we'll see some bit of a fight. However, on the downside, the 18,500 put as well did see a fair bit of open interest built up. And at the 18,300 put, that's the highest open interest on the put side. So that serves as a bit of a support. Let's plug these numbers in then. What's the resistance level you're looking at? 18,650 to around 18,700. Though there will be support at around 18,250 to around 18,300. The SGX Nifty suggesting a bit of a downtake, a 60 to 70 point downtake. At some point of time, the bulls will look to get in. So maybe a 100, 120 point downtake, stop loss at around 18,300. And you're hoping for a bit of a bounce because the buy on dips has been working. So you stick to that. Back to you.
Okay, all right, Nigel, Surbi and Vivek, thank you so much for joining us, prepping us up for this trading day ahead. Time for a short break now. More news and updates will follow after this very short break. Stay tuned.